But let's just jump into conversation here with Jack Blood tonight on The Weird Show. What's going on with you these days?
Stunning verdict today. The TSA anti-groping bill was killed for like the third time. And if you don't know anything about the people of Austin, give us this. We're persistent and we don't give up. And not just Austin, obviously, because this is a Texas issue. The whole country's watching to see if we can make this thing float. Now, as you know, Russell, the TSA, the federal government, the Department of Homeland Security, has threatened the legislature, our policymakers here in Texas, including Rick Hairdo Bilderberg, I was a cheerleader to Perry, and said that if we pass this bill, there'll be no flights in and out of Texas, which used to be almost a declaration of war against the states. You know, this is some of the problems that started the Civil War in the past, you know, despite what you might hear. So what are we really asking here? This is the most absurd thing in the world. Please don't put your hand down my pants of my boy, my girl, my grandma. I mean, I'm a tough guy. I can deal with it. But, you know, this is all we're asking. And the fact that we've had to have rallies and we've had to have huge activist movements and different organizations like Texans for Accountable Government come together, and Representative David Simpson, who has sponsored this bill, it's a national issue. We've all had to come together to say what? Don't touch our junk. And we're not saying don't get rid of the scanners, get rid of the TSA. We'd like to see that happen down the road, so incrementally that would be our goal. But all we're seeing now is, unless you have some serious probable cause, you can't put your hands on my penis or whatever. You know, and the fact that we even have to protest this shows how far we've slipped here in the freedom category.
You know what it reminds me of, Jack, is if we've all seen the movie WALL-E. And you know, you've got this space station in space where the human race has just settled into this docile, lazy boy chair society on this space station, and you know, we're heading down that path if we allow the feds to come in and dictate, you know, what's
well, Brave New World was written like 70 years ago or something, and that's really. Aldous Huxley knew, because, you know, his grandfather was the father of social Darwinism, and his brother was the first head of UNESCO, which is the education, social arm, eugenics arm, as Aldous Huxley called it in Brave New World Revisited, of the United Nations. So it's not like they didn't know what was going on. Same with Eric Blair, George Orwell, though the distinction here is that it's difficult to punish people into the submission. That's the thing. You got to drug them, you got to trick them, you got to make them beg for their slavery. So they actually go out, Russell, and they talk to Texans, and they go, well, what do you think about us, you know, groping you and getting obscene and molesting you? Keeping in mind now, folks, that several TSA agents have been busted for kiddie porn. So, I mean, these are, you know, maybe the people we're dealing with. The average sector of society, some of them could be weird, okay? But that's not the kind of weird I want going down the pants of my wife or my kid or my grandma or whatever. So here we are at this crossroads, and if we can't win this, then we might as well give up. So I'm telling everyone out there, because Idaho and North Carolina and Florida, other states are looking to follow us. Where Texas goes, the nation goes in a lot of cases, and we can give examples of that. So I'm telling people, wherever you're seeing this show, wherever you are, you could be in Denmark or Africa, you know, you need to help us put some pressure on the people here in Texas, and we're going to go for round 3, round 4. I just don't see a way to give up on this. This is kind of the line in the sand, you know. You can't molest me so I can get on a plane. The airports are not public. I mean, they are public. They're not private. We subsidize the airports. We subsidize the airlines. We pay for the TSA. We, like the House of Legislature, this belongs to us. Yeah. We have a right to travel, quote unquote, unmolested, literally in this case. So again, it's crazy that I even have to go into this tonight. I guess people will say there's no police state. So, you know, but they'll talk to people here in Texas and they'll say, well, I just want to be safe when I get on the plane. You're 30,000 feet in the air in an aluminum tube.
You got to worry about being groped before you get in something as risky as getting 30,000
The pilot's drunk. He's on 420. He's like been popping some pharmaceuticals. He's probably on some psych meds. I'm a little more worried about who's driving the plane than Osama bin Laden, Lee Harvey Oswald is getting on the plane.